Spending 850 million naira for cleaning and fumigation. 850. Even if you live in a farm, you need this kind of money to, what are you fumigating? I guess snakes or mosquitoes that will consume this amount. Because for me, this is the problem we face about throwing so much money on issues that cannot be verified.
Opportunity to use this same platform to explain certain things in order not to give wrong impression of the board. For instance, about issues raised about food, we are not spending 1.1 on food, and so on. We need to explain. We provide.
I'm Oshiomole from representing Edo North. I joined in the amplifying the point made by my distinguished brother that work with 1 billion cannot be miscellaneous. We need to have the details. But I also feel that the guys who are paying these, the source of revenue, they are the sons and daughters of people who are grossly underpaid. So raising revenue for candidates who are seeking admission or whatever, for me is something we need to look at. Should we impose more punishment on people who, because in most cases they have to fall back on few privileged people, businessmen, and in particular politicians, to say I can't afford to pay XYZ, can you pay for me? I think that JAMB should be sensitive to the reality of the country as it is today, that we are not supposed to put more burden on the children of the poor who attend universities. So for me, it's not something to celebrate, because it's like deepening the challenges that the poor are already facing. Now, that said, I look at how you spend the money, and I have huge challenges. For example, you go to number 13 and 14 on page 13. I see here local travels and transport orders, 600 million. Then 14 with asterisk, local travels and transport training, 6.4 billion. Now, if you add the two, it becomes 7 billion. Which, how can you have two categories of local travel? Is it one within Kaduna, or sorry, within Abuja, and the other one within Nigeria? How is it? So, because what I found from all the agencies is that huge resources are spent on training, and training, when you ask for the specific content of those training and who benefit from the training, and cross it over the total sum, you find that this cannot be justified. Not at the time when we are borrowing to fund our budget. Then I look at some of the items, they are almost one and the same. You're spending 850 million naira for security. I don't know whether you are entitled to security vote. Cleaning and fumigation, 850. Even if you live in a farm, you need this kind of money to, what are you fumigating? I guess snakes or mosquitoes that will consume this amount. Because for me, this is the problem we face about throwing so much money on issues that cannot be verified. Just like local government breaking rules, and when you ask them, they say it fell after. And so you cancel it. Then refreshment and meals, 1.1 billion naira. Are you entitled to be fed by government? Are your workers being freely fed? Now, these are huge numbers. When you take them together, you realize that you are spending for what you are generating for poor students, some of them orphans. Then we need to be more critical about how you spend. My general impression is that there is a level of luxury spending and things that are neither here or there. I see here, and I think next time we should have the privilege of having these documents in advance so that we can do proper. Now you have staff housing scheme, 1 billion. Is the federal government still providing housing? What happened to Obasanjo's monetization policy? So you are building housing, you are into construction? And if you do, are your staff members not entitled to housing allowance? Is it not built into the salary system? Then you have another loose word, staff welfare. I was going to assume that the 1.117 billion that you are spending on refreshment and meals is part of the welfare. But I will need to be educated about the meaning of staff welfare, which is 1.2 billion. And don't misunderstand me, anything that goes to the real workers, I have no problem. Except that when you go to the definition of staff, and who benefit from this quote and unquote welfare, the outcome will be totally different. Then the last one, page 14, you have construction of cubicles, furniture and supply installation and networking of 1, computer systems. I'm like, what is the lifespan of a computer? Do you buy them every year? If you look at your last year expenditure, these items were there. Then you have a procurement of office equipment, 120 million. What happened to the one you procured last year and the year before? What is the lifespan of this equipment? What is your depreciation policy? And lastly, Chairman, so I don't take too much time, procurement of utility vehicles. Is this utility vehicles pool cars or stars for car? I mean, for stars, because, you know, one of the problems I'm seeing in public service is that in 1 year, we monetize compensations. As a senator, I am not entitled to a personal car because my salary has been monetized. And then you have utility cars. And when we go into the detail, these are cars that the managers will use. They are not in the pool. They are assigned to officers in clear violation of the monetization policy. But if it is something that goes down to level 8, level 9, level 10, level 12, I have no problem. But usually this is something that jumps over around the MD, the level 17, level 13, a few privileged people. And what about what happened to the ones you procured last year, the year before, and 3 years before? What is the depreciation policy, even if we are to assume that they are poor cars? So on the whole, when I look at your expenditure, you spend as if you are in Saudi Arabia. Because the resources that you are drawing is from people who can hardly pay it.
Thank you, one distinguished. Thank you very much. We moved that JAMB be excluded from the budget in terms of revenue appropriation to JAMB. I so move. It's first to that. So who is second? Is there any second here? So there is no second. But are you seconding?
Colleagues, I remain Marie Enenyete Ebikake, representing the wonderful people of Brass Nembe Federal Constituency and from Bayelsa State. Mr. Chairman, Co-Chairman, I rise to second the motion that JAMB should be excluded in receiving grants. Apart from that, an addition, they should. I saw second.
Just mention to the chair now that there are more information that is not in possession at this moment. And for us to be able to consider such a motion, it will be in the best interest of the committee to see all the details. The performance, just to give a fair hearing, to see the performance what he has performed last year, 2024, and what his projection is for 2025. So in my opinion, or in the opinion of the chair, should we suspend the motion until when we have this information? In the opinion of the members and distinguished members and honorable members that we should. So, Registrar, you have been saying that, but the motion is still pending. That instead of you giving the federal government 4 billion, it's better federal government leave the 4 billion for you and you take care of all your expenditures. So with this, we will expect you to give us full detailed information. And this is what he said. This is also what the Minister of National Planning mentioned in his remarks. The need for us to be very transparent and to present detailed information of our revenues. So with this, we will call you back within these 3 days to go and defend your budget properly.
Sir, with due respect, opportunity to use this same platform to explain certain things in order not to give wrong impression of the board. For instance, about issues raised about food, we are not spending 1.1 on food, and so on. We need to explain. We
Registrar, when you bring the full details of your expenditure and everything, we'll be able to make a judgment out of it.
My fear is that the press will go with this wrong impression. It is important for me. Chairman, sir, it is important. Chairman, it's important for me so as well to I have integrity, I have my name, and for it will be unfair to me to say all these things on public about me, given the sacrifice I've made. I think it is important, sir.
That are not roadworthy to provide the road leading to accident and avoidable loss of life of Nigerians. I would like you to comment on that, particularly this giving target for people to meet. So without a lot of races committed, you are slow down and extortionate. But no, you need permission from the chair before I transfer.